property that you've been wanting to sell, and the realtor that you've talked to about listing it with said, or asked you if you'd like to consider a real estate contract or an REC. So you're wondering what that means. So what that means is the realtor is just asking you if you would like to act as the bank on the transaction where you're selling your property. A real estate contract is simply an agreement between a buyer and a seller where the seller agrees to act as the bank and accept monthly payments from the buyer for the purchase of this property. So you have a down payment, and then you earn an interest rate on that real estate contract, and the buyer will make you monthly payments. So what are the advantages and disadvantages from a seller's point of view for selling on a real estate contract? And I would think there are several, and I might miss some of them, but number one is the ease of selling. You open your market up to more people, meaning that there are a certain number of people out there that can qualify for a regular loan. They've had a job for a few years, they have an income, a steady income that they can document. Those people can go and get a mortgage. And in today's market, they can get a mortgage at a very low rate. But there are a lot of people out there who may be self-employed, who may have a new job, just moved to the area, have a brand new job. Maybe they started their own business and they haven't had enough time to establish that it's a viable business and they're doing well. Maybe they're young and they've just not created a credit report for themselves. They haven't had credit cards for years and car payments and those kinds of things. So they have no credit. They may not have bad credit. They have no credit. You may have people nowadays that are good people, have made payments all their lives, have done a good job, but they had a medical catastrophe in their life and it caused their credit to be messed up. So those, by allowing your property to be sold on a real estate contract, you're opening up a whole other set of potential buyers. So it gives you more buyers. It can be closed quickly. There is no need for an appraisal. There is no need for the buyer to qualify. So you might want to look at a credit report on them. You might want to ask them questions about where they work, what they do, how they're going to pay the payments on the property. But you avoid all of those underwriting guidelines and things that you have with mortgage companies. And believe me, I've just been trying to get some mortgages on some rental properties, and it's quite extensive, the kind of things that they have to go through. So as a seller on a real estate contract, you open up your property to that many more individuals who might be able to buy. It might be kind of scary because you're thinking, well, what happens if they don't pay me? What happens if I have an underlying mortgage that I have to pay? And those are all good questions. Let's not talk about if you have an underlying mortgage. There are other videos that you can look at that talk about wrap real estate contracts. But let's just talk about what happens if the buyer doesn't pay you. And so what happens if the buyer doesn't pay you in a real estate contract is you have an attorney send a demand letter which gives the buyer a specific amount of time to make that payment. Typically it's 30 days. If they make that payment to you within the 30 days, then you go back to normal and they're due for the next month and everything continues on the way it was to begin with. If they don't make that payment, then you have to, they become a tenant holding over and you have to kick them out of the property as if they were a tenant. I've been buying and selling contracts and buying and selling properties on contracts for over 30 years now, and I see relatively few contracts default. If you're careful and you screen your buyers up front, you get a reasonable down payment, that's probably not going to happen because they don't want to, your buyer doesn't want to lose the money any more than you want to get the property back. In fact, they want to keep the property, they want to live there and hopefully pay you off or sell it and find something new and make a profit on it. So, and in the industry at SunWest Escrow, we see very few, I would say less than 5% defaults on real estate contracts. So it's a great way for you to expose yourself to more buyers. It's a great way to get a good return on your money. Typically, you're going to get several percentage points more than you would get in a CD. I know today on a 5-year CD, you're lucky if you can get 1 3/4%. On a real estate contract that may have a 30-year amortization with a 5-year balloon, something like that, you're probably going to be able to get 6% interest. So you get a much better return on your money if you don't need the money out of your house to buy another house or to do something else with it. So it's a good thing to think about when your realtor suggests that. Do some research on your own, watch these videos, talk to your realtor, talk to your attorney, and see if it's something that you would be interested in doing, because it's a good alternative that you might want to think about.